Today I watched Teen Konna, a 1961 movie directed by legendary Indian filmmaker Satyajit Ray. This marks the 36th Satyajit Ray movie that I have seen, which completes the set of all the movies that Satyajit Ray has made, and I've seen all of them. This includes documentaries, short films, as well as feature length motion pictures. In this video, I will talk about what I felt after watching Teen Konna. I will talk about the amazing aspects of it, as well as certain aspects of Satyajit Ray movies which I feel make it difficult to watch for the average viewer. Of course, you have to remember the average viewer is unsophisticated, especially in India, because we as an Indian audience are largely exposed to commercial Hindi cinema more than anything else, something which Satyajit Ray himself has immaculately articulated in an interview to a French interviewer from the 1980s. So without further ado, let's get into the substance of this video. Teen Konna consists of 3 different stories, each of them written by legendary Indian author Rabindranath Tagore. The first story is The Postmaster, the second story is Monihara, and the third story is Shamapti. Of course, this is a Bengali film, but every Satyajit Ray movie also had an international release and it had an international title. So Teen Konna literally translates into 3 daughters, but due to a very weird reason which I don't fully understand, and if you have a clear understanding of it, do let me know in the comment section. The international version of Teen Konna was released as 2 daughters, not 3 daughters, because it consisted of 2 films, not 3 films. Monihara was not part of the international release. Why it was not a part of the international release, I don't fully understand. And if you do know, let me know in the comment section. So again, let's translate the other names into English. Postmaster, of course, is Postmaster. Monihara in English means lost jewels, and Shamapti means the conclusion, which fittingly is also the last of the 3 stories in this movie. Now, each of these 3 stories is set in the rural part of India or rural part of Bengal, and all 3 of them have powerful female characters as the main character, arguably, in each of these 3 stories. But the main theme of these movies is how these female characters interact with their surroundings, with society, and it talks about universal human emotions which are still relevant in today's day and age, which makes this a timeless movie. Themes like loneliness, obsession, love, all of the societal norms, what is expected of a person at a certain age, and the constant tussle between freedom and responsibility. So these are universal themes. So let's talk about it one by one. We start with the first short story that was shown in this movie, The Postmaster. This talks about a person who has been posted in a village for the first time. He is from Calcutta, big city, and he misses the big city. He finds it difficult to adjust to a village, which is something I can relate to because I did spend a lot of time in a village fresh out of Kolkata not too long ago. So how he adjusts to this place, he has this person who takes care of him, and he builds a bond with this person. He teaches her the alphabet, and but it's a metaphor, I'm sure, because there are these alphabets in the Bengali language which are called Juktakhar, which is basically 2 letters together. And before he could teach these Juktakhars or conjoined letters, he has to leave. And maybe it's a metaphor that the bond between the 2 characters is like separate letters. It does not become so strong that they become a conjoined letter, and maybe that is a play on that. Before he could teach the conjoined letters, before he could teach Juktakhar, he has to leave. And this leads to an understandable reaction by the female protagonist, who is played in an immaculate fashion. A very young child at that in 1961, a very young child played that role and was played to perfection. The next story is Monihara, which I believe is the best of the 3. and it talks about obsession with materialism, and there is a very oft ignored aspect of Satyajit Ray movies is his subtle use of humor. So this is a very serious story, and even in this serious story, there are these moments of hilarious comedy. Talking about hilarious comedy, there is a scene which looks on the surface to be really serious. A person who has been unemployed for a very long time finds out about his distant relative and comes to request this relative to find a job for him, and the relative replies that I will find a job for you as long as you promise to not be within a stone's throw distance of this particular house. To which the person seeking a job, remember his life depends on getting this job, replies, what if I get a job that is in an office which is within the premises of this house? In that case, I will have to be within stone's throw distance. And this is delivered in a deadpan manner, but I found it very, very funny. The other thing I found really funny was the story has a deliberately slow pace, and in a bit of amazing meta humor in 1961, remember, the narrator says, Ghumiye porlen naki? Apni shunchen to? Almost like breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience. And the final bit of dark humor when the female protagonist in Monihara is asked by a character, do you have any regrets? She replies nonchalantly that yes, I do have one regret. I was about to get one more necklace from my husband. That's not going to happen now. And that one more necklace forms the bedrock of this story, which is depicted in a remarkable fashion. And I believe this is the best of the three stories in Teen Konna. The last story is fittingly named Shamapti because this is also the conclusion of this movie. And this is a very light-hearted romantic story between a male protagonist who returns from Kolkata typically to a village. Now, I would have found it very interesting if all three stories would have been set in the same village and somehow they could have been interwoven together, but that would be expecting too much, I guess. So this is a romantic story how a person decides to marry another person, and in contemporary Indian society, all that mattered was who a male wanted to marry. The female opinion didn't really count for much, and that has been addressed in a very sensitive manner in 1961. Not a single character in this particular movie behaves in a manner that you would not expect them to behave in, except for the fact that all of them are at odds with each other. They are not agreeing with each other on anything, and you, as an audience member, will completely understand the perspective of each of the characters who, remember, are not agreeing with each other. And you don't even know, while watching the movie, who is doing the right thing and who is being a little too intrusive. So that really is the mastery of the filmmaker when you watch a movie like this. Again, Satyajit Ray movies are known for having strong female characters, which I have talked about in my previous reviews of Satyajit Ray movies. But the one thing that I have not highlighted is the one thing I don't like about watching Satyajit Ray movies, that they are typically very slow paced. And I understand why they were slow paced, because back then the only way you could watch a bioscope or a motion picture was by going to a theater. You had to pay for a ticket, and most people would not leave halfway through the movie. So filmmakers could dictate the pace of the movie without worrying about distractions. And Satyajit Ray movies are deliberately paced in that manner so that you get dragged into the story. You slowly see the characters reveal their true intentions and you grow with them. And the story also grows on you. But this does not change the fact that in the 21st century, watching these movies on smartphones is a challenge. And I find it quite challenging to watch these movies, although I have watched it in a very short span, and I've watched all of them. Maybe I can make a video on my favorite Satyajit Ray movies. Some I like more than the others, but all of them are very, very good. Thank you for watching this video. Take care. Bye bye. And as always, please don't forget to be awesome.